Now on HTV, a change to the advertised programme. We have a Wales This Week special on the day the North Wales Child Abuse Report is published.
Good evening. It's been a long time coming. For many, it's the end of the road. Some did not finish the journey and took their own lives. We're talking, of course, about the publication of this, the long-awaited Waterhouse report into child abuse in North Wales. The inquiry has cost the taxpayer £13 million, but for those who suffered horrific sexual and physical abuse in homes set up to care for children, the cost has been immeasurable. The report recommends wholesale changes in the care system and a Children's Commissioner for Wales. In the House of Commons, the Welsh Secretary Paul Murphy declared, saying sorry is not enough. We'll be examining the implications of this report in the second part of this special programme. But first, we go back down a road which Wales This Week first travelled almost 10 years ago.
Stood still on a highway.
For more than a year, while the inquiry into child abuse was running, Darren Laverty was on the road, hitchhiking his way across North Wales.
With a face that I knew like my own, reflected in my window.
The journey along this road began long before the Tribunal of Inquiry started. The journey began when Darren Laverty was taken into care. It led to a nightmare of abuse, loneliness, and crime.
Fearful pressure paralyzed me in my shadow.
Any chance of a lift to Euro? Lovely.
This is the road which hundreds of young people would prefer to forget, but they have had to travel it again in pursuit of the truth. For Darren Laverty and others, this has been, quite simply, the road to hell.
For me, it has been the road to hell. For many, it's been the road of opportunity, business, commerce. For myself, no.
You have strayed upon the motorway to hell.
I've been on the road so many times, so many years, in so many vehicles, on foot, on bikes, motorbikes, cars, dustbin lorries, Land Rovers. I've been in the back of a Land Rover with sheep, prison wagons, a number of them, social workers' cars, minibus, thousands of minibuses, up and down, weekend leave.
The journey to hell began when Darren Laverty was just 10 years old. Along with a dozen others, he was convicted of petty crime and found himself on the road to his first children's home.
And I remember wishing and wishing and wishing for this car to break down. Because I had it in my mind, if the car broke down, well, I'd have to go back home. And, you know, this wouldn't be happening. This feeling of not being able to turn the clock back. I'm going to a home. There's nothing I can do. So I'd sort of pray to God, you know. Please, God, help me, take me home. I won't do anything wrong again, blah, blah, blah. Actually thinking that, you know, this God is a bloke who can do this. In a wave of a wand, so to speak. But it never happened.
What did happen was to leave a permanent mark on Darren Laverty. He was taken to Tyrfelin on the outskirts of Bangor, a children's home which is now gone. 9 years ago, Wales This Week first highlighted the abuse that had gone on in Tyrfelin. But those who took part were not believed.
Tir Felin on the outskirts of Bangor in North Wales is one of 3 community homes looking after children in care in Gwynedd. 5 years ago, the home was at the centre of allegations of assault on children. There were 2 police investigations, but neither resulted in any prosecution against any member of staff. Tonight, in an extended programme, we talk to young people not interviewed by the police. All are adamant that they were assaulted while in care in this home. Darren Laverty was 10 years of age when he was placed in care at Tir Felin because he was stealing. He says he was assaulted. He was not interviewed by the police, but he has now complained to them.
It's gone. Tir Felin has gone. What do you feel?
To be honest, nothing. It went a long time ago as far as I was concerned. Nothing. Just memories, isn't it?
My darling child,
The home was torn down to make way for a housing estate, but the abuse which took place here was to feature prominently in the North Wales Tribunal of Inquiry, and the words of those who spoke out 9 years ago came back to haunt their tormentors.
my darling.
The spotlight fell on the man in charge, Joseph Nevin Dodd, who always denied that he physically assaulted children in care. But today's report says that he frequently used excessive force on children. The regime he imposed at Tir Felin was autocratic and oppressive.
Out of eight weeks I was there, I'd say every other day I was belted by Mr. Dodd. He held my head in his stomach in the boot room until I'd gone blue in the face, and then I eventually threw a little temper and started screaming at him, saying he was trying to kill me. And then he charged me with his stomach and rammed me back against the wall, smashed my head on the back of a coat hanger, smashed the back of my head on a coat hanger, and then left me on the floor and said, "Stay there until you learn to behave."
My pride and joy, believe.
Sweet revenge. I want it. I want it badly. I've had it to a certain extent. But the icing on my revenge cake, shall we say, would be compensation. I'd like some compensation from the state, so that I can sit back and, and then stop hating this state, so to speak.
The picture presented to the public was a sham, but among the professional carers at Tir Felin was one woman who decided to expose the man in charge. Today's report says that